Welcome to Kidmissing TV. I am your host, Angelina Wilson. This is the case of Sharon Giusti and her two small daughters. They disappeared on the eastmost tip of the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, in the seaside town of Port Townsend. I guess it's pretty well known for its Victorian homes and buildings, and it's quite a tourist attraction. In the early 1900s, however, it was notorious because apparently its main street was made up of brothels and taverns. Quite a history. We don't have any of that kind of crazy history. And it's considered a safe place to live, which I think is why no one talks about the startling disappearance of Sharon Giusti, age 20, and her two very young daughters on March 5th, 1963. She was only 17 when she married her husband, Ray Giusti. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. It might be Giusti. Giusti. He was much older than her. By 1962, they had two daughters, Michelle and Clara. Ray owned a ranch a few miles west of town near the Chevy Chase Inn. According to him, he was out working in the fields on the day that his wife and daughters disappeared. They got into their car and drove away. And that's just about everything that's known. Her car was found 5 days later on March 10th. Under an unspecified highway overpass about 2 miles from home. Some say it was only 1 mile, some say it was 5 miles, and the writer of the article has, actually it's not an article, I believe this came from, Reddit, had no idea the actual distance. The Charlie Project website had a couple of comments from family members. Sharon was my great aunt, my grandma's sister. Her husband's name is Ray Giusti, and the last known place he lived is Gorst / Belfair, Washington. He owned a gun shop. Oh boy. Not soon after her disappearance, about a year, Ray married Sharon's best friend, Bobby Smith. The town sheriff at the time was Ray's best friend. His name was Bob Hansen. Years later, Bob told this young lady's uncle that he wished he had investigated the case more. He said his hands were tied. Her grandmother had explained to this commenter that throughout Sharon's marriage to Ray, she had run away from him several times, hiding at her aunt's and my grandma's, her sister's. And also during her pregnancy, she moved back into her parents' house because she was afraid of him. My grandma has told me that she and Sharon were very close, and her disappearing without telling her was not like Sharon. Okay, again, I'm quoting and that's the end quote on that comment that was made on the Charlie Project blog. Excuse me. Blog. Another comment Okay, this says Sherry was right. It's supposed to say Sharon. It was this person's aunt. Her mother, Sharon's sister, had told her, this was 2018, that Ray shot himself at that time. In 2018. This was May of 2018. This person commented. And then she writes, a bit of cyberstalking reveals that one of Sharon's sisters did marry a Martin, so I feel that these are legitimate relatives of Sharon. Further research from the person on Reddit came up with a death announcement from May 4th, 2018 for Ray W.G. Euste of Shelton, Washington. The only suspect is now dead by his own hand. He was 87 when he killed himself, 29 when he married a 17-year-old. That's tough. What happened in his life that made him kill himself at 87? Sorry. He didn't report them missing for 4 days. Now that I don't find odd for the time period, because they wouldn't have taken the report anyway. Foul play is suspected. As you'll see in the poster, there is no picture of Clara Arlene. But there is a picture of Michelle, as well as her mother. I think it's Michelle, right? Hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, Michelle. But Clara was so young that there was no pictures of her. Most people believe that that Sharon was killed, but what of Michelle and Clara? Were they adopted out? Were they raised? And who knows what happened. This person also suggests that maybe he killed himself because he was afraid that his crime would be solved through DNA, genetic genealogy, and all of that. It'd be great if they had a body. So, and if he parked her car and walked even a mile at the shortest distance with a 2-year-old and a newborn, yeah, no. Whoever took them all followed them and got them to pull over. I'm not sure if it's him or not. I'm not 100% convinced either way, honestly. But the Reddit poster did ask, well, what the heck was why did the sheriff say his hands were tied? And that's an interesting turn of phrase, interesting choice of words. Who was tying his hands? Who was keeping him from investigating? If you felt that someone that you were close to, or if someone you were close to was involved in a case that your department, and you are the sheriff, was supposed to be the investigating agency of, wouldn't you turn it over to another agency? Because, look, I can't investigate this. This is too close to home, you know? I don't want any appearance of impropriety. So take over the case. You know? So I would think he would do that, but for whatever reason he didn't. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department is investigating this case, and their phone number is 360-385-3831. That's 360-385-3831. Like I said, in my opinion, I think that it's possible the girls are still alive. They were so young. One was like barely 2, and one was newborn, like 2 months or something. And I just can't see him killing a newborn. Well, maybe a newborn, not a 2-year-old that he's gotten to know and love. And I can't see him, although it has happened, walking away, even at the shortest distance, a mile, with 2 very young children that age. Somebody had another vehicle. Now, they never said whether the vehicle was operable when it was found. That would be interesting to know as well. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It is Wednesday the 29th, which means tomorrow we will have the preview for June, and we'll try to have June's updates sometime over the weekend. I might even push the preview to June back to Friday. Yeah, because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, I'll push the preview of June back to Friday the 31st, and then over the weekend we will do June updates if I can find any. And I will film some of June. And June does not have a theme. And neither does July. August does. August is unidentified August. And then we go into theme months from August up until the beginning of the new year. So, but the next 2 months are not themed. June and July are Let It Fly months. They're not themed months. I like that, Let It Fly July. I might use that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please, if you know anything, if you think you are one of these little girls or saw something that day, whatever the case may be, please call that number. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining me in Missing May. Remember, 4th of July on the other channel, we're going for 200 subscribers, and August 4th, we're going for 500 on this channel. Bye, guys.